So my guest is Mike Sabatini of Attacker.
Yes.
And thank you for coming.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
And you got into a car accident.
Yes, on the way here.
That's so metal.
Oh, trust me, it is. Especially when you hear the crunch of the back of your car. Yeah, it's pretty metal. But yeah, not a great way to start the interview, but you know what? Things will get better, I'm sure.
Absolutely. And you said you wanted to say something to your coworkers?
Yeah, I have to say something to my coworkers at Verizon. Saturday night, we're going to be appearing at Dingbats in Clifton.
Yes, you are.
And each employee is required to show up. Otherwise, it could lead to discipline or ultimately in termination. So I just want to let everybody know that they had better be there.
I see. So you're a higher up at Verizon, apparently.
Absolutely.
You give the orders.
Not really, but I'm just giving them right now.
Okay. and I do hope that that the general public will take that invitation. Forget about the termination part.
Yeah, I can't terminate them.
To Dingbats.
Yes.
Is it Friday or Saturday?
It's actually Saturday night, the 19th, this coming Saturday.
Yeah, Dingbats being a local supporter of the heavy music scene for years.
Yes, yes.
And so the first thing that I know that Attacker had out was a track on Metal Massacre 5.
Yes, Call on the Attacker was the very first thing we ever put out.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, that was 1984.
Yeah, yes, it was.
Yes, I remember it as if it was 1984.
Well, and the thing is, right, I mean, the bands that are on this, right, Voivod, Overkill, Fate's Warning, Hellhammer, like Metal Church, was that an insane time, or what was going on, and how did that happen for you guys?
I tell you the truth, it's kind of weird. The whole thing with the band, like we had done a demo in, I believe it was January of '84, and I basically sent them out to people. You know, we sent them to a lot of magazines, fanzines. You know, that was a big happening thing back then. And I remember getting a review in Metal Forces magazine from England.
Oh yeah, of course.
And they loved the demo, and they basically said at the end of it, somebody signed these guys up. Next thing you know, I had sent the demo out to all the labels. I get a contract from Metal Blade to have a song on Metal Massacre 5. So we wound up taking that. And I guess we had gotten good enough reviews from Metal Massacre that probably 2 months later, we got a contract in the mail for a full album.
Oh, for Battle at Helm's Deep.
For Battle at Helm's Deep, yeah. So it was all really, really quick. So it was like kind of cool.
Yeah.
Just we got together, did a demo, and next thing you know, we got signed.
What an amazing time.
That whole era was just, it's when you think about, like you said, all the bands on that Metal Massacre, and it's
it's crazy.
It really is crazy. It was such a great time to be doing what we were doing.
And you are still doing what you were doing.
Yes, I mean we did take a lot of years off because originally in '88 we kind of disbanded, and it wasn't until I believe it was about 2000 because our original guitar player Jim Mooney from Battle at Helm's Deep had passed away.
Oh, that long ago.
Yeah, it was, and we had, and our bass player Lou came to us with the idea, like, hey, why don't we do another album dedicated to Jim? That's what ultimately became Soul Taker. And up until that point, people would ask me, oh, is Attacker ever going to come back? And I pretty much said, you know what? I doubt it's ever going to happen.
Oh.
I mean, I had
were wrong.
Yeah, no, I had no inclination, and I was like, nah, that'll never happen. Not a chance. But hey, look.
Were you still drumming while Attacker was on
hiatus? I always kept playing and stuff. And, did like some fun things, but nothing real serious. I actually had, believe it or not, an Accept cover band around '95, just doing all Accept stuff because I loved it so much.
It wasn't with Udo's brother, was it?
No, it wasn't.
Okay, because he has an Accept cover band. Well,
no kidding.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, his brother does. Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know if he still does, but I do know he did. A listener actually wrote in and said saw you in Jersey Dogs at the China Club opening for Monkey Pop.
Probably, yeah. Those I remember those days.
He said those poor parrots. So I don't think I ever went to the China Club. Do they have parrots?
They probably did. You know what? I don't even remember that, but he could be right.
Yeah. And
because it was a little bit of a frou-frou place, I guess, outside of the metal nights that they had on Sundays.
Right.
Other than that, I guess it was a little more, little nicer of a place. So they might have had parrots, which ultimately probably died from the volume.
I was going to say, I'm not sure how.
Yeah, I was like, parrots. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember that, but
And the fire alarm has gone off.
Yes.
I was going to say,
I was just about to say, wait a minute. I got rear-ended. Now we're going to be interrupted by a fire alarm.
It's okay. We've got an exit right here. We'll be fine.
Oh, thank God.
But there is no fire.
All right, good. It must have been just a test of the emergency broadcast system.
Yeah, perhaps. So then how long was your break for, let's see, in terms of the, why don't you just catch the listeners up on what's going on with Attacker now and really how that timeline went?
All right, well, like I said, we had gotten back together probably, I guess, around 2000, the idea was put in to do the next record. And we wound up, it took a couple of years to kind of get it finalized because our bass player, Lou, at the time was busy with work. He wound up, even though it was his idea to do it, he dropped out. Had another friend of mine, Felix Torres, came in, joined on bass. We did Soul Taker. We wound up going to Europe for the first time after the Soul Taker record, getting to Germany, Holland, I think in 2004, which was great because we had never been there before.
Oh, yeah.
2005, we went back to Germany again, did some festivals in the summer. At that time, we were writing the fourth record, The Unknown, and during the course of that, Felix wound up leaving, and Lou had kind of cleared up some stuff. He came back into the band, and he actually finished up recording The Unknown. We released that in 2006. Did a cool little tour in Europe in 2006. We went to Italy, Greece, Holland, and Germany. So that was like our mini vacation / tour. And I guess 2007, we didn't do a whole lot. We kind of just laid low, worked on some new stuff. 2008, we went back to Germany, did the Keep It True festival once again that we had done previously. After that, we had let our singer Bob go, and we pretty much after that, we kind of took off for a couple of years. Everybody kind of had things going on in their lives, and we just kind of let it go for then. And it wasn't until earlier in this year that we decided to try and start it up again. Obviously, had to find a new singer, and which we did. He kind of fell right in our laps. Bobby Lucas, he contacted me through he was playing in a band called Overlord, which I'm sure you're probably familiar with, and the guitar player Mark, who's obviously he's a friend of mine as well, he mentioned to Bobby that we were looking for a singer. Hey, why don't you try, see if they'd be interested in having you sing, and that wound up getting hooked up, worked out great. Lou decided again he wasn't really into doing metal stuff, so we brought in John Hanneman on bass. John and I had actually been playing in our studio with Larry Naroda.
Oh, sure.
We were jamming with Larry, but that kind of wasn't going as fast as I wanted to. So when the Attacker thing kind of opened up again, I asked John. I basically said, "Look, you're a good player. Your stuff is here. Why not join?" And that was it. He's already in the room paying rent, right. and I was like,
you don't have to move anything.
No, exactly. Just amp stays right where it is. And so him and Bobby are the new guys in the band, and so far it's been great. They did a great job on the new album, and we're psyched to get out and play again.
So it really sounds like things are just sort of falling into place, because I was wondering about, losing Bob Mitchell and how do you replace, like what do you do to replace a voice like that? Do you really imagine what you want, or just wait? Or do you try to get the same kind of singer?
No, well, I tell you what. You know what it is? I guess what we do, it's more about somebody that can hit the notes or hit. You don't have to sound exactly like the person,
right?
But you can't come out with a singer that's a totally different style when you've had. We're a band that's historically had higher voices in the band. Bob Mitchell and a second singer, John Leone from the Second Coming. So Bobby Lucas can actually hit all those guys, so it's fine. It's basically he can hit the notes and it sounds great. He doesn't sound exacly like them, but that's fine. I don't you don't want a carbon copy.
A Ripper Owens.
No, exactly, no. And and honestly, he does a fantastic job on the old stuff. So I think when everybody hears him singing the old stuff, they'll be really pleased.
Cool.
So yeah, it's like I said, it's a tough thing, and there's not many people around these days that do that anymore.
Yeah, well, that's
it's a dying art, really.
Yeah.
It's for that kind of singing. So we actually got lucky.
It's not something that a youngster decides they're going to go out and learn, like power metal
vocals. Yeah, I'm going to study Halford and Jeff Tate and Bruce Dickinson. Most of them, most of the newer kids are into more of the heavier, more screamy stuff. So it's definitely, there's probably a handful of guys left, so you got to hang on to them.
Yeah, for sure. So great. Well, and then you have this new new CD.
Yes, that's entitled Giants of Canaan. I've heard some people call it Canaan, so I just wanted to clarify that.
Oh, no, Canaan, right? You got the double A thing in
exactly,
there.
Exactly.
And how long ago, this is a demo that we have here, folks.
Yeah,
So
that's the actual record. It's just that's the copy from the mastering lab, because the CD won't be released until February 2nd in Germany, when we're over there playing, which will be in a few weeks.
Oh, great. That's perfect.
Yes.
And do you have a U.S. label?
No, I can't actually announce the label yet. It's a European label, but they haven't made the official announcement.
Got it. Okay.
But they'll be doing they'll be doing
It's
worldwide
okay.
distribution, so it'll be available pretty much everywhere.
Oh, and I did want to ask you about Sentinel Steel.
Yes.
Just because Dennis used to be local here, and I just knew him from his. How did you hook up with them with him or / them for the Unknown record?
Well, actually, he had done the re-releases of the first two albums, Battle at Helm's Deep and Second Coming, on
so
Sentinel
he did
Steel.
those first. Okay.
So I guess at the time when we did get back to do Soul Taker, he wasn't in a position to do anything else label-wise. So he had introduced us to Andy Preisig, who was the guy who owned Iron Glory Records in Germany. He was over here visiting. He's like Dennis, has a mail order business, and does a lot of sales at festivals, has a booth and everything.
Right.
So we wound up putting it out through his label in Germany. But by the time the Unknowns, we got into mode for doing that, Dennis was ready back, to do it again. So we wound up working with him again, because out of everybody we've ever worked with, he's probably he's the most honest guy we've ever worked with.
He's fabulous.
No, he is. He's his word is his word. We sold CDs. He paid us for them, and it was, it's amazing to have somebody actually not try to word a contract to rip you off, basically. To
Right.
give you 10% of the net after 10% of this is out of that.
Right.
It's it was just a nice one-page contract, and every 6 months we got paid, and it was great.
Yeah, he's a lot of integrity, that guy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to be meeting him this evening.
Oh,
he's
good.
actually coming into the area. He has to drop off some stuff for me because of the shows we have coming up. He's giving me some of the unknowns and some of the Soul Taker stock he has. So
sure.
we're going to be meeting up with him this evening. And
Oh, that's
incidentally,
great.
yes.
Well, tell him that I said hi, because he used to live in my neighborhood. Yes.
Yeah, now he's up in Massachusetts.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yep,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. You have engineering and recording credits on some of your CDs. Is that a thing that you do also for other bands?
You know what? I have done demo things for bands, and I haven't really done any full records. We did the Unknown ourselves. The new album was actually done by myself and a guy who's sitting right to my right here, my co-engineer, and so him and I are actually working together now on some stuff, and doing some. We're actually in the middle of doing a project right now. I don't know if you're familiar with Karen Cool.
Sure.
From Hobo. Well,
Yep.
I played drums on her new record.
Oh,
because
great.
our old bass player Lou is part of her band now, and I played on the record, and him and I have are actually in the middle of mixing it right now.
Oh, great.
So other than that, we haven't done a lot, but we're probably going to look to maybe do some stuff, because we've had good results, and if we can do it and help some bands out, why not? Put a little money in our pocket too. Why not?
Yeah, exactly. And it's just so. I mean, I hate to say it's so funny, but hearing that Attacker is like a Hoboken or Weehawken based band is just it's so warming. It's like you're not saying New York.
No, well, I grew up in Hoboken, so I live in Weehawken now, but I'm a Hoboken guy. That's where my heart lies. The funny thing is that we kind of never really got much respect from Hoboken itself, because Hoboken was more of an alternative scene, with the whole
Sure.
Maxwell thing.
Yep.
So it's kind of funny how, you have all these bands, the Hoboken bands. We've been doing it for how many years, and we never really kind of get mentioned in being in the Hoboken bands. But
Right.
but that's okay.
That's Hoboken is selective about that. And
Yes.
saying that you've been doing it for so many years, so you've been drumming with Attacker for 30 years. How long have you been drumming?
Actually, I was only playing for like a year and a half when I started Attacker. Because I actually started late. I started drumming at the age of 19.
Oh, okay.
I was actually in college. And it was funny because our old bass player Lou and I, we met in college, matter of fact, at St. Peter's College in Jersey City. And we always make a joke that we changed all our majors to metal. So, we probably...
I changed my major to radio.
See, and in hindsight, we probably should have stayed in school. But we're doing fine, in life otherwise. But
Sure.
Metal's a tough thing.
It can be. Yeah, that's because I was just wondering, did you, when Attacker was taking breaks, you said you were kind of drumming in other projects and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's
it's hard to keep your chops up, especially as a drummer in a as time goes by, there were certain things that you do have to really be very focused about keeping up.
Well, let me say one thing to that. If I would have known that 25 to 30 years later, I'd be playing some of the stuff I played on, like especially the Second Coming record, the double bass stuff. I might have played a little simpler because it's to this day, when we do any of those songs beat me up. Though they're very challenging.
Yep.
Because again, I don't have 25-year-old legs anymore.
Right.
And again, working for a living, maybe if I was a professional drummer and I just get up when I get up, whatever, might be different. But when you're working all day, it takes a toll.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Well, that was the main thing. It's like, are there any songs that you won't play live?
No, you know what? I can do them all, but it's, I work. There's a handful
but
of them.
Then you need like a song with like a real slow intro next.
Exactly.
Whatever,
let's do like in the first album song that was a little slower. Yeah. I definitely have to place the set in a certain order. This way it doesn't drive me off the edge. It's tough.
And your new singer, how old is he?
Bobby, I believe he's in his mid-40s.
Okay.
So we're all in the same age bracket.
So
you know what I mean?
You didn't get a ringer.
No.
Like a young.
You know what? Actually, incidentally, after we had gotten let Bob go back in 2008, we did have a younger singer who was only 20 years old.
I saw him. I saw you play with him.
Yeah. Oh, you were there. Okay. Yeah. Walter was a great singer. And it just, what it was? It was just an age thing. And I just, it's like I think about it and I'm like, well, when I was 20, I wasn't really hanging out with guys in their 40s. He wound up going on to do some things, I guess, with younger guys, which is probably where he should have been. But it was, he was good. He was a good singer. It just wouldn't have worked, I think, in the long run because I knew he would have went on to, bigger and better things or something anyway. So.
Yeah. And I have to, as a person who attended that, I saw you at Dingbats, that show, I kind of had to not look at him.
Yeah.
He was sounding fine.
Yep.
But just him standing there with you guys there was...
right, exactly. It was a little bit of a mismatch in that thing, But
only in that way, but when you're doing shows, I think a lot of your appeal is in the festival circuits and that kind of thing. So that is all like live, especially in Europe. And I would guess that you're probably more popular in some ways in Europe than here.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because they really appreciate the power metal more. And
you know what it is too? They never sway from what they liked in the first place. They don't say, well, I used to like Judas Priest when I was in high school or something. To them it's like it's still a lifestyle and they like the old stuff. They do like new stuff, but they never like disavow the things that they did like. They still there's guys coming to shows with their kids and the kids have little patch jackets on, with all the bands on it. So it's definitely a lifestyle where here it's more of just an occasional hobby.
You've got some festivals lined up already.
Yeah, we're actually in 2 weeks we'll be going over to Germany for the Metal Assault 3 Festival, which is in Würzburg, Germany. The next day in the morning we're flying to Madrid, Spain for a festival called the Screaming for Metal Festival.
Awesome.
Yep, and I think the other one we have a festival in July, the end of June 28th, 29th, in actually right outside Columbus, Ohio, and that should be fun. We Flotsam and Jetsam's on the bill, Malaya Rage, Steel Assassin.
Oh, cool.
I think Dantesco, which is a band friend of ours from Puerto Rico. There's Voltax from Mexico. I know there's a Swedish band, Accent Star, and like a lot of other great bands.
And that's the Warriors.
That's
of
the
Metal.
Warriors of Metal Festival, right? And then the other one we have lined up now. We're going to be doing a little 2-week tour in September in Europe. We're going to be starting on the 14th, ending on the 28th. As of now, the one date we have concrete is the 28th. We're going to be doing a festival called the Ages of Metal Festival in Belgium, which is also going to feature Diamond Head and Tigers of Pantang so far.
Nice.
So yeah, that's shaping up nicely.
Yeah.
And we're going to fill in the other dates between, probably hit. It'll be, I believe, like Italy, Greece. We may be going to Malta because we have some friends in Malta. In a doom band called Forsaken. And then from there, probably up more, to Northern Europe. We're going to try to hit the UK and Ireland. And I think probably Holland and Belgium, obviously the Belgium show. So yeah, we got to put all that together, but that's in the works.
Well, you have a great calendar put together, and then there's a Facebook, Attacker Band on Facebook, right?
Yes, you can visit us on that.
You have a regular website?
Yes, we actually just got that up. It's actually www.attacker.tv.
Oh, okay.
It's a little sparse right now because we're just getting it up and running again. It's been down for a couple of years, but it's back, and there's all the dates are on there. There are also there's an updated photo, little news thing, updated the bio. So, but little by little, we'll get it back into full swing.
Awesome. So you are here to be a guest DJ,
Yes.
which was the original invitation.
Yes.
And what do you want to start with today?
Let's start with some Sacred Oath.
All right.
I think that's right there. I believe
And,
track number 3.
And tell me about Sacred Oath. Tell the listeners about Sacred Oath.
Sacred Oath are a great band out of Connecticut. A good friend of mine, Rob Thorne, is the guitarist, lead singer. We were also label mates with them on Sentinel Steel for a while. And actually, I believe the show you attended at Dingbats that time, they were on the bill.
They were.
And Steel Assassin were on the bill as well.
Yeah.
And just a great band, great guys. I just want to give a little respect to our peers here, and friends, and play a little tune. Hopefully, I think Rob said he might be listening. I just saw a Facebook message, so he may be listening.
Let's see.
And if he is, hello, Rob.
And
we're going to do track number 3,
which is
The
called
King Must Die.
The King Must Die.
A nice little ditty. I enjoy it.
All right. So my guest is Mike Sabatini of Attacker.